All right, we're going to continue on with section 5.4, and this is identification and writing of equivalent rates. And I'm lazy, so I abbreviated two of those. Identification, figuring out, and writing of equivalent rates. We're going to talk about a new word today, and it relates a lot with ratios, and that's why it's coming up in this sense. It is the word, the rate. And a rate is something that compares quantities in different units. Man, my handwriting is not good today. I'm not sure why. I'll slow down and try to focus a little more. Often we see this word when we're writing about rates. Per. Some examples are things like miles per hour, dollars per gallon, and days per week. There's likely a lot of rates that you recognize in your life. And another key that I often find in rates is the idea is that one of these two quantities is going to have the unit of, is going to have the quantity of one. So if I'm talking about miles per hour, I'm typically going to have something like 55 miles per hour. It's not as helpful if someone says, yeah, I was going 300 miles. 300 miles. Let me start over. 300 miles over 5 hours. Because it's harder for me to visualize that because I can't really compare it to the other rates. Instead, if I were to simplify this down, this is really 55 miles in 1 hour. But in math, we don't say when there's only one typically because it reduces out. So here I would have to simplify it down and it becomes much more meaningful. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about and doing it today. Let's look at Mark, a quick example. Mark is a golfer. And he is buying golf balls. And there's a bucket for 45 for $9. Let's put that on the wrong side. Or you can get 4 for $1. And the question is, which one is a better deal? So what we're going to do is I'm just going to turn these into fractions and I'm going to simplify them. And the question that I really want to know is I'm going to put my dollars on top instead of the golf balls on the top. So I'm going to have $9 for 45 golf balls. And here I have $1. $1 for 4 golf balls. And at this point, all I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify it down. So here I can see I'm already good because I already have 1 on the top. I have $1. So this one I'm going to try to get to $1 as well. So here I have 9, and I can divide both of these by 9, which is very convenient. And I'm going to divide by 9, and I'm going to divide by 9. So I have 1 for 5. $1 for 5 golf balls. So now I can compare these two, and I can see that it's definitely a better deal to pay $1 and get 5 golf balls instead of $1 to buy 4 golf balls. So this one here is the better deal. And I can tell that simply by solving and reducing my fractions. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to continue on to my other section. So let's return again back to what we were doing before, and we were talking about the driving around and simplifying. That's right, is better deal. Okay. What I want to do instead is we're going to go on and talk about our next example. Let's see. We are going to talk about two machines winding thread. And the idea is we're going to see that one machine winds 5 meters every 3 seconds. The other machine takes 18 seconds to wind 20 meters. Now, the first thing I want to do is make sure that my units are the same and that I have them both organized. So let's make sure that we do that. And I typically put time on the bottom just because it's easier and it helps me to more think of sections of 1 unit of time. So I'm going to use my 5 meters every 3 seconds. I'm good. But here I'm going to put 20 meters over 18 seconds. And this way I can start to simplify and compare. 5 over 3, 20 over 18. This I can divide both by 2. So I can have 10 ninths. So I'm going to compare 5 thirds and 10 ninths. And I can see if I wanted, I can just, I have a couple solutions right here. I could go to decimals with long division, or I can just make them both have the same denominator. And in that case, I think I can see an easy way that I can make this into a 9. So if I times both of these by 3, I then have 15 over 9, and I can compare it to 10 over 9. And I can see that 10 or 15 meters every 9 seconds is much faster than 10 meters every 9 seconds. So I can definitely see that this machine is better, and this machine is a better winder. I could have also divided them out, and I could have said 5 thirds, what a decimal is that? And I could have, done it as a long division over here. 5 and 30 is 6. So this would be 0.6 meters per second. Over here I have 10 over 9. Nope, that's not right. It would be 5 divided by 3, like that, which would be 1. Sorry, my long division is not very good today. 3s are in 20. That would be 6. This is why going to decimals sometimes is a lot more work. 3 times 6 is 18. Bring it down, 20. So I'm going to have 1.6 repeating. Makes sense. And over here, I would have 10 ninths, which I would have nope. Might be a good reason why I'd want to do pencils too. How many 9s are in 10? 1. Subtract 1. I think I'm going to see a pattern here. .11 repeating. So I can see that, again, it is faster. But it was much faster to do as decimals, or if I wanted to, look and see as a fraction. Let's compare a couple more units, and we're going to actually, this time, we're going to do one of the questions it's going to say. It's going to say, write an equivalent rate. Example 3. All right, so if we have 6 for $60, I can definitely see that this is 6 for $60. Oops, made another mistake. And all I want to do is write this as an equivalent somehow. So if I want, it's like I'm writing equivalent fractions. So I can divide the top and the bottom by whatever I want, and it would end up with the same rate. Let's multiply both by 2. So I have 12 for $120. This would work, and this would give me an equivalent rate. Let's do another one. Say I have 12 cherries for $1. Well, I can write it as 12 cherries for $1. And I can just multiply both by 10. And I can do 120 cherries is $10, which works out. Makes sense? And that's pretty much what you're going to be doing. You're also going to be simplifying some of these rates and fractions, and it should work out pretty well. Good luck.